At his Florida home, Stone is the latest in a series of indictments made since the Mueller investigation began in mid-2017. This investigation is, quote, close to being completed, according to the acting attorney general. The longtime Trump confidant is charged on 7 counts, including witness tampering and lying to Congress. Stone allegedly lied about pursuing Russian-hacked emails that hurt Hillary Clinton's 2016 campaign. He's the 6th close Trump associate charged by Special Counsel Mueller. Here to tell us about the charges and what they mean for the Mueller investigation is Talking Points analyst Jack Watson. Jack, thanks so much for joining us. Now, 7 charges coming out against Stone. Can you just tell us what they mean?
Sure. Well, the brunt of these charges are the fact that he is being accused of lying to Congress, 1 witness tampering as well as some obstruction. But the lying to Congress is really what I'm looking at personally, because it says a lot about what the investigation is trying to communicate to the people. They're trying to say, look, we're not saying that he did these things. We're saying that in a closed-door testimony to Congress, to the House Intelligence Committee specifically, he lied about doing these things. And if what the Mueller team says is true, they have some sort of evidence to back this up, and they're obviously going to try and prove that in court. But really, what this gets at is a larger pattern in terms of the investigation. The guilty pleas that they've gotten have all been, well, not all been, but most of them have been about lying to Congress about these things. So it's all within the purview of the Mueller investigation, at least the charges against Stone are.
So Stone's camp isn't a very quiet one. What are they saying about this indictment? Right.
Well, Roger Stone made, after his arrest on Friday, he made several cable television appearances, most notably on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. He said that the charges are politically motivated, and the fact that the large FBI presence around his home was ridiculous. That's what he's saying. And it's actually interesting when you think about that, because Chris Christie spoke on this issue earlier. He's a former U.S. attorney, and he said that he would have only done that if the person had a gun, if they had posed a threat to the people trying to arrest him. However, there is some reason backing that up, a little bit at least, because he could have had computers, cell phones, electronic devices that the FBI wanted to seize, and it looks like they did.
Now, Stone said, quote, he believes he will be vindicated, he used that word, in court. Do you believe the court's going to see it that way, too?
Well, of course, he is the defendant, and they have to prove, the Mueller team, the prosecutors have to prove that the charges in this 24-page indictment are, in fact, true. Now, whether those are true, it's all going to depend on email correspondence, which the indictment allegedly said. They say that they have this correspondence with Jerome Corsi and with others tied to WikiLeaks.
Now, can you speak a little bit about Stone's relationship with Julian Assange, which is kind of something of the matter in this case?
Sure. Well, Roger Stone was not a part of the Trump campaign per se, but he was still, as the indictment alleges, in regular contact with the Trump campaign. And what he sought to do, at least what the indictment says he sought to do, was to get more dirt on the Democratic Party after, in the middle of July, WikiLeaks, which is named as Organization 1 in the indictment, released information, released emails of John Podesta, who was the Hillary Clinton campaign chair at the time. So what the indictment is alleging, and what Mueller is likely going to try to prove here, is that Stone was looking to WikiLeaks for more dirt on the Democratic Party. And now what makes this especially pertinent to the Mueller investigation, which is an investigation into the Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election, the alleged interference, is the fact that the hacker that obtained that information that WikiLeaks then published is accused of, at least by a wide variety of U.S. intelligence officials, of being a Russian, or at least associated with the Russian government.
And it's not just about Stone. We've seen indictments for Manafort, Gates. Can you just quickly explain how this ties into those indictments we've already seen?
Sure. Well, Paul Manafort's charges were mostly financial, mainly tax fraud comes to mind. But what this has in common with Alex van der Zwaan, George Papadopoulos, Rick Gates, it's lying to Congress about what they did. Now, sentencing has not yet come for a lot of those names, but what I'm looking at as an overarching theme to this really is the fact that they allegedly lied to Congress about these things, about what they did during the campaign trail. And what I'm looking for the Mueller team to do, if they can prove this right, I mean, like I mentioned, Chris Christie before had said that this is going to be.
We're going to have to leave it there.
Yeah,
something to watch for